Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we have a very cool special review impressions of a knife I've had for a while, and I actually got this at Blade Show. Got it directly from Joseph Vero. Super excited to get this knife. This is super exciting. This is a very cool knife. Let's talk about it and get into it. It is, the knife name is the Vero Lux. This is the Lux. The manufacturer of this is Riot. They normally outsource to Best Tech, but this one is to Riot. And I've carried this quite a bit. You can see it's being dinged up because this is a very regular carry for me. I really, really like this knife. Small hint, you're probably going to get a good positive overall finish when we get there. But the designer is Joseph Vero, obviously. What makes this one a little bit different is it's a beautiful hollow grind, this polished stone-washed blade, which is absolutely ridiculous. A nice swedge on top. Gets this beautiful drop point right here. I love that. Really, really nice. Nice frame lock here, hidden hardware screw, beautifully chamfered everywhere. There's no little sharp points. They've taken care of all of those little things everywhere. The clip goes really nice in and out of the pocket. Beautiful weight relief. Now this is a honeycomb pattern weight relief, which is incredibly light. And we'll do some measurements here in a second, but makes this super incredibly light. I did put skips in this, and this makes that action just buttery smooth. And it's the typical little Joseph Vero. This is number 452, but this is a flipper too. And it's very, very hidden with this little flipper right there. I really like that. And the action is just beautiful controlled, and it works really well for the flip. It's tuned absolutely outstanding. Great action. Now this is radius milling, radius chamfering in here, which I'm typically not a big fan of because sometimes that gets very uncomfortable, but it's done well where it's very comfortable. I don't feel like after fidgeting with this knife for a while, my hand starts to hurt. It digs in. It's uncomfortable. Like my Umnumzon that I had and I ended up selling was so stiff on the lock bar, and you could not tune that because it had an over travel stop that couldn't be removed. I was not a fan of that. And that's why I ended up selling it, because of that. But this one works really, really nicely. Now it has a fuller. It's only on one side, not the other. So it's beautiful, kind of clean cut on this side, and then you have the fuller on this side. So that means I can reverse flick right-handed, but I can only thumb flick left-handed, right? Can still do the flipper. I still can do the flipper. I can still do the top flipper here as well. That works really, really nicely. So, all right, titanium handle, stone washed all the way around. Well, I think this is more bead blasted. This looks like, is it bead blasted, stone washed? Yeah, I think it's a bead blasted. It almost looks like it almost has a orange peel plier kind of look. It does have no lanyard loop, which I prefer. I like that. Beautiful all the way in the back. The blade utilization goes all the way to the tip. Really, really nice. I mean, it's like 2 or 3 millimeters right there. That's really nice. It's up there with the Shergorf kind of design. Love that. Jimping up here is really nice. It works really well for the flipping. You can go across it nice and smooth. You push down. It does lock you in. You can choke up on this blade, and you can see, we'll do some measurements here in a second, but I got plenty of room for my large hands with my large hands with my big meaty fingers. Right, so extra large, double extra large hands, I think no issues, maybe even triple extra large hands. Just so smooth on this knife. It is a larger knife, but it doesn't feel like that, right? It just feels really fun to deploy. It works really well every which way. I love how it flips. I love the multiple deployments. I love this kind of polished stone-washed blade. The hollow grind is ridiculous for super edgy sharp. Yeah, just a really, really overall, everything comes together really well. And the action is just beautiful in the closing. Just really nice. Frame lock works just outstanding. So let's go ahead and do some measurements on this guy. All right. Let's see how much this guy weighs. All right, so this one's going to come in at 3.9 ounces, under 4 ounces for a rather large knife. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, I don't think. So let's see overall length, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. Let's do an overall length measurement, because this is not a little 7-inch blade. This comes in at 8, and I want to say almost 8 and just over 8.5, 8 5/8 of an inch, 8 5/8. So that's a pretty large knife. So it's about 4 1/8 of an inch for the handle. If you go up here, if you choke up here, with which you'd have plenty of room, you're just shy of 5 inches of handle room, which is really pretty outstanding for large hands. You can really get in there, extra large hands, really work that knife well. I like that a lot. All right, so let's look at the blade stock thickness. I might actually, because it's really well hidden, I'm going to do this so I can get to it. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so what are we at? All right, so let's measure this. 158 thousandths of an inch. Now going out to the very tip, it's about the same, 158 thousandths of an inch. So 158 thousandths of an inch I mean, that is what we're dealing with right there. Again. All right, so that is the measurements, the length, the blade stock thickness. Let's talk about the budget. Is this a budget knife? No. Is it a regular knife? No, it's not. Is it a higher end knife? Yeah, it's in that 300, 350. I think it was 365, 385, something like that. If you were to get the Damascus, maybe at $170, $190, whatever. So then you're real close to, you know, the $500 range, maybe almost $600 range, but you're still under 600. So I think you're still in the high end knife. It's definitely not a custom mid-tech $600 plus, but it's not cheap. But I think it's well worth it. It really is done well. Now, if this knife was made in the USA, this would be a $700, $800 knife. No question, no question. I mean, I think about my Osborne, my Rosie, that's like $850 knife, right? That would be what we're talking about here with all the different design elements in this thing. But this is just done so well. I really, really like this. I have a mini Axon. I have another knife I haven't reviewed. I did do an unboxing. It's the Nova. Love that knife. That's a big boy there too. But I like this knife. I enjoy carrying this knife a lot. It makes my rotation quite regularly. It's just a really, really good knife. It feels good. It just is so smooth. Yeah, there's a lot of things about it. All right, so is it EDC hard use collection piece? It can be a collection piece, absolutely. Can it be EDC? Yes, I EDC the snot out of it. I already got a few snail trails. You can see right there on the clip, which to me I'm perfectly fine because this is going to stay in my collection. It's not a knife I plan to lose or sell. So I love this knife. Is it hard use? I think as much as a frame lock can be. Yes, this absolutely can be hard use. Are you going to go start chopping wooden blocks and wooden logs and stuff like that? Use a fixed blade or an axe. Use the right tool for the right thing. If you're in a pinch, an emergency situation, this will do quite well. But it is a hollow grind, so keep that in mind. It'll be a beautiful slicer, super nice and sharp. Man, I can tell you, I can shave my arm beautifully with this knife. See, I can absolutely shave it. Cutting off my hair there, but beautifully. But it's just it's a hollow grind. It's not meant to be a pry bar. It's not meant to be other things like that. So there you go. Ergos and feel. Handles. Handles feel great. So many little details. No hard, sharp spots anywhere. Everything's rounded. Even the clip itself, it's rounded, but it's chamfered, micro chamfered all the way around the edges there. The chamfering of the scales themselves, where they're even rounded up here, but it's chamfered there. You can see it's long chamfering here, but even this part right there is rounded. So that's just a nice little touch. A lot of design elements that are really important. I really appreciate that Joseph really got into this knife. It's super, super nice. The only thing I did just notice, and even then it's not super sharp, it has a little sharp edge underneath here, and I wonder if that was a miss. I'm sure I can fix that with a quick file. That's a super easy thing to fix, but you know, how many of us are going to go up like that, right? And if you do, you know, you can fix it, but I think that's a kind of an unusual one, right? But definitely something that's I did notice. I guess I never noticed before. I was so enamored with everything else. I mean, it's there. I don't know if maybe I caused it. Maybe it wasn't there. I don't know. But that would be my one qualm, my one pick, if I'm going to get nitpicky, right? All right. Action is beautiful. It deploys well. The flipper works well. The front flipper works well. This left-handed reverse flick works well. The right-handed thumb flick works well. Left-handed flipper works well, and the left-handed front flipper works well. And you can always do the finger as well there like that. So that's nice. For a larger knife, I think that's great. For a guy who's got large hands, I think this is a little bit bigger than most times. Most of the time, a knife this size, I'm not very interested. But I am interested in this one. So the overall feel is just really beautiful, opening and closing. It's so fidgety, so satisfying, really. All right, so fidget factor scale. All right, so it's a front flipper, right? It is a flipper, a beautifully well-hidden flipper at that, right? It's got a fuller right here to reverse flick. You know, some people might complain you can't reverse flick in the front, but you know, that could be an aesthetic thing, right? I think Joseph does that for a particular reason. I know a lot of custom knife makers do that as well, and that's fine, right? I can do the over-the-top flip like that. So to me, this is going to get a solid 7. I mean, it's a solid 7. Could I go to an 8? Possibly, but it only has that on one side, so that's the reason why I give it a 7. I still think it's phenomenal. Everything is really, really good. Fidget factor for what it has, I think this is 100. This is 100. I don't nonchalantly put that away, but I have enjoyed every fidgety goodness about this knife. Oh, and the other thing is I did notice is that it does have a ramp. There's a ramp where the ball goes over, which is always really cool. That gives it just a nice little extra touch in a knife to have a ramp there. So I think that's really cool. Yeah, so fidgety goodness is 100%. I think it's phenomenal. Is it a recommended knife? I mean, I kind of gave it away already, and you saw my review, my unboxing. You probably saw me getting super excited when I handled it at Blade Show. I loved this. I just absolutely loved it. Couldn't carry it enough. Yeah, it's absolutely recommended. It's phenomenally recommended. I think it's a great knife. If you don't like super big knives, that could be the only thing I could say, hey, keep an eye out for that. It is, like I told you, it's a little bit bigger. It's not, it's over 8 inches, over 8.5 inches. You know, it's almost 8 5/8. So just keep that in mind. If that's too big and you don't like that, keep that in mind. And whether you want to have that knife. But I can tell you, for a knife this size that typically would be difficult for me to carry and want to carry, it carries well. Carries well for my large hands. It really does. It's so much fun to carry. It's so comfortable to carry. For my large hands, I absolutely recommend it. So there you go. I think it's outstanding. So that's my thoughts on there. Highly recommend it. I think it's a great, great knife. I'm super excited about it. I think if you agree with any of this, if you were wondering if you should get it, my thoughts are, yeah, go for it. I think it's great. So that's where I'm coming from. I appreciate you watching. If you have any comments, questions about what I have said about this review, I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. If you disagree, I'd love to hear that too, but tell me why. Just tell me why. Don't just throw out that, I'm an idiot. Because sometimes I know I'm an idiot, right? We all make mistakes. We're all dumb sometimes, right? So no matter what, even if you don't think you are dumb anytime, you are dumb sometimes. We all are. I am. I know I am. I have no problem with that. I have no problem learning. I love learning. And in order to learn, you have to admit sometimes you're wrong or you don't understand, right? And so I'm good with that. So let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear. If you like what I said, I'd love to hear from that too as well. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or informative, or entertaining, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you also consider hitting the subscribe button down below? Subscribing and liking the videos really helps the channel, allows the channel to grow, to do a whole lot more things, to produce more content, to do more things for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who watches, who likes, who enjoys the videos, who watches the live streams, who just participate in the comments. I appreciate you guys so very much. And if you haven't already, maybe hit that notification button down here below so you can be notified of future content. Would love for you to see other videos like this one. And then to all my huge channel members out there, thank you. Thank you for your support so much. You allow this channel to do a lot more things earlier than I ever thought we'd be able to do. So I'm always grateful to you. I always want to say thank you. And if you guys have been on the fence, you thought, hey, I'd like to become a channel member, I would be honored. I would love to have you. I think it'd be awesome. Just know that I don't ever want you to feel obligated, but my small way to say thank you is I do a once a month channel members giveaway and make sure it's a really nice exclusive knife, right? It's not just a little budget knife. So just know that as long as you guys are being generous with those memberships, I want to be generous back to you guys in showing my appreciation for what you guys are doing and allowing this channel to do. So just keep that in mind. And the other way I also like to say thank you is I'd like to send all channel members a sticker, channel sticker. If you email me with your name and address, if you're a brand new channel member, I would love to mail you a sticker. And also, if you've been a channel member for a while and you never asked, or you were a channel member and became a channel member again and are a channel member right now, email me as well. If you've never gotten this channel member sticker and you've never asked, I'd love to send that to you. So, let me know. Again, appreciate you guys out there. And hey, if you haven't already, check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.